So today for our job embedded PD, we're going to talk about what differentiation looks like in the classroom. What is differentiation? So basically our objective today is you are going to participate in learning different strategies on how to differentiate your classroom environment, the learning for your students, whether that is at the elementary level or at the secondary level. So just a little background on me. My name is Nancy and this is my 20th year in education, and I have worked at both the elementary level and the secondary level, so I have seen the benefits of differentiation both at both levels, at both the elementary level and secondary level. I feel that it really benefits at the elementary level because that's where it all starts. And then if it carries on through the secondary level, those students just receive more and more benefits from it and really succeed. So as we begin our PD today, I want you to kind of, just take a look at the image that you see up on the whiteboard and how many different things are happening within that classroom setting. And we are going to watch a brief video and then talk about the picture after that. Okay, let's go back to this. I'm going to show you the video and then we'll talk about the picture that is posted. Start that.
Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education, Differentiated Instruction. Use differentiated instruction to meet the diverse needs of your students. Now, why should educators differentiate instruction? Well, here are several reasons differentiated instruction should be used in a classroom setting. First off, research has shown us that individuals are better at learning information through different modalities. Differentiated instruction allows educators to cater to learning styles. Next, you must differentiate the rigor of the content because students differ on performance and readiness level. We also recognize that some students will find certain material engaging while others will not. Teachers should differentiate activities as student engagement varies. Let's just say a teacher is giving a lesson on macromolecules. Some students will, quote, get it automatically, while others will feel lost. Teachers may have to differentiate because not all students learn the same material in the same time period. And let's not forget some of the specific types of students in the classroom. There are students with disabilities that require differentiation through modification and accommodations. Also, English language learners. So, how do you actually differentiate instruction in the classroom? Now, there are a bunch of different paths to differentiating instruction, but here is just one strategy that a teacher can use. And this is just one of many ways to differentiate instruction. First off, instruction must be standards-based. Differentiated instruction begins with selection of standards. Next up, determine readiness and student interest through diagnostic testing and learning style inventories. This takes place early on in units. Continuing, deliver varied content to students depending on their learning styles, interests, and content readiness. Follow that up with having students work on varied activities. After students complete the varied activities, take questions and review the standards with the entire class. Next up, provide students with various assessments and projects aligned to the differentiated activities and content. And the last stop, after assessments, again, review the standard with the entire class. You're still teaching an entire class. Again, I will say this. It is important to understand that the roadmap above is not a rule, simply just one idea. It is up to you to come up with your own ways to differentiate instruction. Now, let's take a look at some examples of differentiated instruction. Instruction can be differentiated through content, process, and product. Differentiated content is related to what the students learn. But again, you want it to be the same standard. Some students might reach functions on a standard while others are still focusing on the basics of a standard. The content delivery can be varied based on student interest. For example, some students read stories based on music, while others read stories based on sports. Moving on to differentiation by process. So for example, you can differentiate an activity by creating activity tables. Next, you can differentiate students through various groupings. You may differentiate students based on their levels of readiness, or differentiate the learning process through various number of learning styles. Have some tasks designed for visual students, like creating diagrams, and other tasks for auditory learners. Lastly, you can differentiate the instruction as a product. Some assessment types might be in the best interest of one group of students, but not in the best interest of another group. Offer different types of assessments. Also try to incorporate projects and product assessments to allow for class creativity. Students can come up with their own ideas. And our last segment, what does a differentiated classroom look like? Here's what school administrators should look for when evaluating a differentiated classroom. The first thing they will look for is choice in student assignments. Choice in student assignments should be reflected in lesson plans. Next, administrators want to see more than one text being used in the classroom. Therefore, offer multiple reading texts for students. When differentiating instruction, there should be an overall feel of students having their needs met, and that is through personalized learning. Administrators like to monitor students and teacher through assessments, and they will look to see if students are being assessed in a variety of ways. Lastly, administrators will look to take notice if there is an acknowledgement of student learning styles. There should be teaching to multiple forms of intelligence. Right now, I would just like to say thank you for your time, and I ask that you please subscribe to this channel, as I'll be adding more videos on all different educational topics.
Okay, so just kind of recapping, at the very beginning when he went through the steps, the objective and the standard of what the kids were, what the goal was for the class is stated at the beginning. Throughout the class session, or throughout that learning period, and then again at the end, it's restated at the end, and it's you could use that with exit tickets or just class discussion, but it's that constant bringing in that standard and talking about that standard. So kind of looking at the picture that's over to your left, we can see that there is a teacher present here, but there's all these different things happening. We have some students here at a technology center, and then there's some at a writing center. There's other kids more at like a play center, and then there's that one-on-one going on, so that all of the students' needs are being met, and they're all achieving that same goal, but just through different avenues of doing that. Okay, so let's